Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, call the meeting to order. We have a quorum. Cyndi, Todd.
Yeah, just a few updates. So with the water project that the grant was awarded on April 20th, we'll be at our called environmental record release. So that will occur this Thursday. And once that date passes and nothing has come to us comment-wise from the state, that would cause any delays, we're good to move forward with contracts with the engineer, with me, and start things rolling. I've made Roger aware of the dates of when we have to have bid documents and all that good stuff going, so things are moving forward. I provided Doug a copy of the PER for that project so that he can become familiar with
Some light reading.
all of the tasks included in the project. So don't get too overwhelmed. Some of that's like scenarios and costs and various things, Doug, but the meat of it's at the beginning of the book there.
Give him the cliff.
So I'm just curious, I'm sure somebody here probably knows it's in the room. We're replacing one of the two main water lines in town, correct? Does that water line go Old 41, or how does it get to, or 36?
Old 36.
Old 36, that's how it gets to
It
town.
goes down 36, cuts Old 36, and then right up, and then down 36.
Okay,
Goes under the creek there at the bridge in
Which-
Ridge, or Billy Creek,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, when'd you cut back to 36?
at the highway. It goes all the way to the new highway there at the bottom of the hill. Where
Okay.
Maury that used to live there.
Well, does a 90 somewhere down in
It
there?
turns right and goes right down into the,
Huh,
right down the highway.
I was just
Old
curious.
36 and new 36. Yeah.
So they'll be digging all that up.
Spots they're going to try to bore.
Are they?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we've already we've walked it like 3 times already, locating everything, but he's gonna try to stay beside it as much as he can, so,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, he'll be bored.
Okay. Good to know.
Mhm.
Okay.
So for maps of all of the areas impacted across the town, small versions of the maps are in that document, but I have emailed to Dave, and I think he shared with Brandy, the digital copies, so if you want to enlarge them to know where all the water meters, the fire hydrants, the water lines, all of that, there are various maps for each one of those activities. So I'm sure it'll be interesting. there'll be a lot of digging through town again.
Okay.
So anyway, that's the update on that, of what's happening there, just so you'll know. We did get the I think final grant agreement, everything was signed and all that good stuff with Okra. And so now we're just working on release of funds after we get through the environmental. On the comprehensive plan, so the application period opened last week. I started working on that. Getting out all the documents. That is due May 19th. You'll probably hear, I don't know that they gave announced dates for that. I think the Annie Grant award announcement will be June 22nd. And as you are aware, they changed the process there. We had to select your engineering firm to do the work before you do your application, so we only had one submittal proposals. That was Structure Point. So we have asked them for a scope of work, which is really a draft contract, because we will have to have that for the application. So they're working on that, and I just kept Brandy in the loop, so she'll have copies of all that stuff coming across. So we'll get working on that, get that submitted.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, first thing we have is the claims.
Yeah, Yeah, on page 3 in there, they had infant service core, the Sill Street project. There's another project that we started last year, and just now paying for it this year. I'm just trying to keep track of what we are paying this year that we approved last year, so we understand when it gets towards the end of this year, why are we over budget? See, that was, what was that total? It was 33.5 and 33.65 thousand on two of those two payments. So that's done, right? I think that project's all done. Otherwise, I saw you're way under budget again on gas. Good job, Bill. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know if you guys are aware, we had 3 payments to Deckard Engineering for all of them for Voorhees. Well, actually, it's one payment split 3 different utilities for Voorhees Jackson work. 16,583 on that. Sludge removal, 33,264. Yeah, gotta get rid of it.
I know it.
And we also have our payment in here, I guess you call it an annual payment for our water tower maintenance agreement. Yeah, that's just the highlights that I noticed.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I can't do anything on the minutes, I wasn't here.
Well, I read those, they were great. Everybody else agree?
Sounded entertaining.
Okay, I move.
Second.
Second. Nope. All in favor?
Aye. Oh, she put a note on there for me. There we
That's
go.
our billing adjustments.
Oh, those darn billing
Yeah.
adjustments, good lord. Good stuff. Wow, that's a heck of a leak on there. Move to, yeah, I move.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, then we just have February and March bank recs to bring us up to date.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. This petition is the one that the zoning recommended, or is that correct? Did they approve it then? But we have to give final.
Well, Nick, give us,
It's right here.
give us some, a
I
little
know.
background here, what we got going on there?
I think there was a neighbor dispute and neighbors don't get along, so one of the neighbors wanted to put up a fence that was outside of the zoning requirements. You have to have a setback from the property line.
Does anybody know why we have the 18-inch setback? I just never have
I
it.
think it's for maintenance purposes, like weed eating and stuff like that is what the thought process was.
But if you had it on your line, we'd eat one side, the other person eat weed each other side.
But if you don't get along with your neighbor.
They don't always do that.
Well, the other guy just have a weedy fence row.
So this particular fence has it where their different panels of their fence can be pulled up and they can weed eat without even having to step foot on the
Oh,
neighbor. So
wow.
It's
Oh,
really
my.
neat actually. They have
Fancy.
panels that
That's-
slide up, you can
that's-
weed eat and then they slide back down.
Okay.
But actually they had a court dispute and the judge recommended they put up a fence and
Holy
so
mo-
they were just following
they-
the judge's
They,
recommendation.
they went to court.
Yeah.
Is it like it's a solid fence, it's not a picket fence?
It's a solid fence, yes. It's just got neat technology where it slides upward as a panel.
Is
that
it
back
plastic
down.
or wood?
I think it's plastic from what I saw in the
I would
pictures.
think to slide it,
Yeah,
have to be
it
like.
looked to me
Yeah.
like it was one of those white, whatever that stuff's, fiber type stuff.
Poly.
Yeah, it's polycomposite stuff.
Okay.
But it is pretty neat technology.
So what are we approving here?
I'll make a motion that we
Where's the petition?
approve the zoning board's recommendation.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do you have another one for us? Well, he's already signed it, I think, or. Okay. So do we
Is it
need,
for you, right? Do you have anything else? Okay.
So we have court tomorrow on 2 ordinance violations, 501 Park Street and 215 North Market Street. One of them was written up as unsafe building law, so the building commissioner wrote it up. And then the other one's ordinance violation.
On North Market?
501 Park Street and then 215 North Market Street. That was I think a burn violation maybe.
Oh.
I'd have to look, but
Probably.
um,
Does anyone, the house is right beside the AT&T building. What in the world is going
Oh,
on
it's in
there?
bad shape.
We've had that one for a long time.
No one's lived there for years, I don't think.
They've,
Doesn't she live in California? I thought she lived in California, but then Doug said she's back. here.
somebody's around here because I'd taken a complaint of a animal up on the roof in a cage.
Animal on the roof cage?
They were live trapping and
Oh.
it sat there all day.
Oh, dear.
I got a hold of the owner and the owner had somebody come over and let the cat out. It was a
Well,
contractor.
it keeps going downhill. It doesn't appear anyone's lived there for quite a while. I'm just
So-
curious.
that's part of my update. Bill did give me a list of the ordinances that he sees around town, so I may cross-reference it to the ones we have open cases on, and there might be some more open cases we have to open because he had a pretty good list going. So, some of them are in judgment status with liens that are accruing interest. Once we get to that point, the options are let it continue to accrue interest, or write them up again, ask for more fines, or the town has the option of going in and curing the violation, but that's cost prohibitive usually, because a lot of them are more than just mowing their yard.
Are any of them paying any of the fines they get?
No, they're generally liens accruing interest. It's
Okay.
kind of like when you get a small claims judgment against somebody. If
No, we should just sit there in the same condition.
if they don't have a job or they don't own, anything besides that property, you get 8% interest per year. And once you get to the point where the value of the judgment's more than the property, you could foreclose your lien on the property, but that takes a little while. So we did have a county one that got to that point, but then the house burned down. So, but
Okay.
so it takes a while. You have to be 50% of the value of the house.
Well, at any given time, we can choose to go in and clean it
You
up.
can, yeah. If you
Can we
wanted
bill
to.
for that?
Yeah, you can, but it's just,
Or
again, a
can we
lien on
put
the
it-
property.
Well, but we get it cleaned up.
Right. Yeah, no, that's an option.
One on Leatherwood, if you get this, send some of that stuff for scrap.
Good. Yeah. I mean, my preference would be on those, if there's ones we want to do that on, that I get the judge to sign off on it before we do it. We did have one where we did that without him doing it, and the bank that wasn't taking care of it wanted to fight with us about whether we damaged their property or not, but that ended up getting settled, so.
That on Erie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but nothing came of it. But that's the concern, doing it without the judge signing off, is that we have the ability under the statute, but then if something happens on the property, you have the concern on liability also, so.
That's why we have you.
Right, that's why I'd rather have, if there's properties we want to do that on, I'd rather have the judge give us the go-ahead on it
Uh huh.
than do it without that.
Well, yeah, okay. Let me throw it back in your court over there, you two, in the mall area. Why don't you come up, if there is any, for such a list of ones that perhaps we should go in and clean them up. In other words, the worst of the worst. Let's just see what you think.
There was one that's down by the park we were looking at, but they've cleaned it up now, so.
Well, that's good.
Surprisingly, but yeah, we can do that. Like I said,
What about the one on Barton Street?
That one looks significantly better.
Have the renters finally vacated?
Yes.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yes.
But yeah, like I said,
Saw Ian hadn't in
as
town
far
with
as new
one of them.
write-ups, there's a significant amount of new ones as well. So,
Yeah.
and Bill and
Well, I guess my point is that we don't ever get some action taken on these. It just you got to do something besides just let it accrue.
Right.
And so every year we should pick off some of the worst ones and then just add it to the property. Of course, they'll probably just continue on again. But
that's what
regardless,
some communities do. Like Terre Haute does that, I think, and a couple other communities have done that some. I mean, they fight the same battle we do. It's just on a larger scale for them. But you
Yeah.
know, the amount of money it costs to fix the property versus, you know. But yeah, there's certainly some we can do that on, I think.
okay. Well, give us a list.
Another thing, Ian or Bill, somebody worked on, we're more able to streamline the ordinance violations now through the state website. So they're able to upload the violations and we can get court dates without having to actually draft as much stuff. So we'll be able to do it a little quicker now than
That's nice.
the old process. But again, I think that was Ian that did that, so thanks, Ian. We have court again May 30th for ordinance violations also. I know Indiana Street has at least one set that day. But that's our next day after tomorrow for ordinance violations. I think there's a couple others set too. Pool manager contract, that's more of a park board thing. It's done. I'm gonna send that to Melissa tomorrow. That's all I had, unless anybody has questions on something.
I do. Well, two things.
Shocking.
Imagine that. Well, two things that we brought up, I think last meeting. One was cemetery endowment
We
thing.
can do that.
But what do we need? How do we proceed?
You just need a resolution passed to send it over there.
Okay. I guess my question.
Do you want me to draft a resolution?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the board's in favor of such a thing.
What are we doing?
Well, to set up an endowed fund at the foundation for people who would like to do so, contribute,
Oh,
donate to the cemeteries. Yeah, I remember talking to Brad. I need to go back and find my notes. It was discussed about, do we want one fund or two funds
For the different cemeteries?
for the different cemeteries?
Do you want that controlled by the foundation or controlled by this board on which cemeteries the funds are used on?
Well,
Would be my second question.
you have more insight into how everything works over there. We say we have 30,000. We have in this permanent maintenance fund. We're talking about using and endow two different funds over there, or perhaps just one fund. I think for some reason we were talking having two different funds, 15,000 each, and people could donate to whichever fund, every cemetery they wanted to. My concern is the old cemetery is just not much activity down there, if you will, and so it probably never received much in the way of funds. So I'm thinking, well, should we just endow one fund, and then the board would decide how it would be used.
This board or the cemetery board or the...
Well,
The reason I'm asking, I want to put the
this-
mechanics into the
this board
resolution.
has to bless whatever the cemetery board brings. I mean, we can't do it on our own that's correct, I believe. Just like the park board, we have to approve.
Right, yeah, I just didn't know where you wanted to start at.
Well, out of respect to the cemetery board, we should probably have them review whatever we come up in the future years, and then in the town board, because it's good to have different eyes look at it. There's always somebody on the cemetery board, sometimes more than one that's not from the town board, and they could have different insight than the town board.
So, just so I'm clear, where are we taking the money from?
Well, we have on our fund report a cemetery permanent fund, $30,000. Been there for decades. So I guess
Could you guys email me the fund number or whatever on that?
it still goes back to do we want fund or one or two endowments? And
I would think one.
I can't remember what
Well, if you did one, you could just have discretion to do what you needed to do
Right.
between the two. That'd be what I think would make sense anyway. But,
where is that guy? I know it's on here, cemetery operating. Here, see if you can find out. I want to harass Nick some more.
how much are we sending? 15? Is that what we said?
There's 30,000.
30,000.
Is it in the back there?
All right, so just
Got
be
it?
a resolution.
Yeah, it's fund 6605.
6605.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I can create that resolution.
Of course, the question I have now, after looking at this, we have for some reason we have 34,441 in there.
So you want me to change that number?
Well, why we don't need to have that permanent fund.
For any reason.
Any
Because we
reason.
never use it because
We
we
never
don't
use
really
it.
know what it's for.
To really know what it's for. So why don't you just change it? There's the bounce there. See this marker there.
Martha used to buy flowers out of it.
Did
Put them
he?
on certain graves for spring and fall. She'd give us a list every year. She'd buy a bunch of flowers and Mark and I'd have to go put them on.
Who give you this?
Martha.
Oh, Martha.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
that's
I
what
can
she did
create
with
that.
it.
That's no problem.
When she was here.
And we're allowed to do that.
Yeah,
Other
that
companies do that.
Well, I think it's long term. It's a great strategy for the cemeteries. The other thing, back to making donations to another nonprofit.
You can do that also. And I did research what you talked about the legislature, and actually John had mentioned it earlier today too. But it is something they're looking at. It's made it through both.
Yeah, I think it's
parts.
headed
It's
to the
just on
governor's
right.
desk.
So whether a governor signs it or not, it's hard telling. One thing you could look at is contractually just contracting with that nonprofit to be the provider of that service too, instead of making it as a donation.
Well, I'm open-minded to that too. I mean, good Lord, it's
That's just a suggestion.
for
I don't-
years
I
we-
can't speak to them as far as what they want to do or not.
for
but-
years this board struggled to have to try to record the things, and
Right.
it's just a disaster. And
Because what I think they're going to want later is probably proof of that relationship, and so a contract would get you there too.
but it's a great service anyway. I don't know how many people are watching. How many has your viewership gone up any?
If something happens,
If there's some drama, it goes.
but it runs pretty steady.
But what a nice
More people
service.
watch the community than the county meetings.
Yeah.
Um,
But it's great for anyone that doesn't want to attend or can't attend to watch. But yeah, I suppose this board, then we need to talk about that at some point, about what kind of service and what kind of value the service is in the financial terms. So yeah, something else to discuss. That's all I'll leave you alone, Nick.
All right. That's just my 2 cents. If we're going to do it, it'd give them some certainty on their operations year to year then too, and it'd give you certainty on what your cost would be. But
Maybe come up with an hourly.
Well, yeah, you figure how many hours is, of course, being spent, and figure out what that's
obviously
working
that'd be
out.
something to talk to John about, but just my thought process.
Yeah. All right, thanks,
But you
Nick.
can do it either way.
And I don't know how many different meetings you do. Do you do public safety?
I try to get to as many as I can.
You do the town board? Do anything else for the town?
I do the police commission meetings.
Police commission.
I try to get to the zoning. We have a zoning meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I did look at the governor's thing. They did exempt out the zoning and the park boards from the requirement.
Okay.
It's not in the bill anymore. So it'd just be these meetings would be the ones, and possibly public safety
Okay.
would be the meetings that's on the governor's desk.
Well, you know, I think it's great. All the meetings it's great to have them all out there.
Right.
It makes a great record, and then it's very transparent. You want to know what was said and who said? All you got to do is go watch it.
Interestingly, they didn't give a funding mechanism as part of their legislation.
Well, it's typical unfunded stuff,
So-
unfunded
They
mandates.
said everybody has to do it, but we're not. gonna fund
Classic government.
it. Yeah.
They're related to IDAM.
Yeah, they're on the cahoots. Okay.
I can
that's
give
all
you
I-
guys a breakdown of the hours I put into one particular.
Well, why don't you
meeting.
give us some hours that you spend? Because I know it's a little more involved than just.
It would be
Being
easier on our record keeping if it was a donation. Just throw that out there.
Okay. Well, it was something to. We moved the can a little bit further down the road tonight, so. Okay.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, Doug.
No, Bill.
Bill. Bill hasn't talked yet.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Bill.
She can't see.
Apparently not.
I'm just gonna stay home and wait and watch it 2 days later.
So, Ford is almost ready to send our new cars to JTN, 2 of them. We should get a phone call soon about bringing our car down to have them take items out, put in a new car. We do have possession of the new computers. Sadly, when I called today to try and get the protection plan, they're past their 45 days. So I'm gonna get a hold of Randy. I tried getting a hold of him today, and some days you get a hold of Randy, some days you don't. And see if there's a aftermarket protection plan and that he's aware of, and maybe we can get something to put on those computers. We have some tasers that are no longer working. There's an error code. I've done the proper technique to get rid of the error code. You get rid of the error code, then you pull the trigger and the error code pops right back up. So what I'm asking is permission to trade those in. There's a place that will buy those, and depending on how old they are and how well they work, it's anywhere from $50 to $200 per taser.
How many are there, Bill?
6.
6?
Do they all have that same error code?
Most of them have that
So
same.
what's
error.
that leave us with working tasers?
So we have, all the full-time officers have a working taser, and then there's one reserve taser or part-time taser. So we'd like to get a couple more tasers, but that'd be something that I'll bring up to the police commission.
Okay.
Still trying to close out Nelson's.
Okay, where are we at now?
Well, I researched some of the other invoices that were already paid last year and said, hey, we got billed for this, and that's not right, and I want that money accredited to what we owe. And they're not very, the person I'm talking to, she's great at actually listening and saying, yeah, I'll take that off. Problem is, you gotta tell her 2 or 3 times, hey, you didn't get this or you didn't get that, so.
Would that be something Nick would be helpful with? I mean, I guess if you're not afraid of police, you're probably not afraid of lawyers.
It sounds like it's not really a fear thing, it's a lack of follow through.
Right.
Sounds like she's perfectly fearful, I think, but not very good on follow through.
Right. And then properties, Nick already kind of spoke on that, and then after me and Nick get together, me and Josh are gonna get together and go on some places where we feel like maybe his citations will be better than ours as far as the teeth of the citation.
The unsafe building law has a lot more teeth to it because it's state law, so.
Okay, well, okay. Won't mention it.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good. Just thinking of a house, but I won't.
That's all I have.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. Okay, Deb.
Bill, you know your cage is the shop, right?
I didn't, thank you.
Yeah, we got it that day you sent me it, so it's in there.
Thank you.
So whenever you're ready for it. Okay. So, all right, the water line at Pet Scout has been moved. So that job is done, so they've already started back on that. I talked to Brian from Structure Point after we had talked. And he is going to take care of the gooch.
Yeah, I just saw an email, I think Brandy sent out maybe just late this afternoon about that whole issue, and apparently Mr. Goose was under the impression it's supposed to be underground, and it's not, but apparently everybody's in agreement that, yeah,
They're going to lower
Drop
it
it.
2 feet.
Yeah.
So once the project's all done, it will be like it's supposed to be. So that's
Good.
That is taken care of. He was supposed to call him and let him know.
Good.
So I did get a hold of Wes Van Sickle. He's going to give me a quote. I talked to him today on the field station. For the ones that know, the field station got hit Easter Sunday. It is open. We've got it open back up, so they are using it.
So how did it get hit? The guy just backing up, or
No, the
what?
guy pulled away from it,
Turned
and when he
trailer.
turned, the back of his truck caught it.
His truck caught
So
it.
knocked the south wall out. So he, like I said, he called me today. He should have a quote hopefully by the end of this week. We got a new light up at Dr. Waltz's office.
Oh, you did
The
pole?
outside.
Finally?
Yes, but then one got knocked down in front of Mario Brothers, so we're that's the same number.
And then I saw some emails on that. And the
Yeah.
Mario Brothers one, is that motor's uninsured?
Yes, it should be. They had insurance in there, right? The mother said.
How do people keep
She
hitting?
said her driver's door come open. It was a teenage girl, and she went to grab it to close it, and supposedly cut the wheel over. Hit it.
She won't qualify for the safe driving discount.
No.
Nope.
So,
Okay.
um,
Fortunately, nobody else got hit during the whole thing.
exactly. So we've been doing some patching. Did run the sweeper. We got issues with the sweeper. We'll discuss later on after I get some prices and everything. Cemetary. We got 11 of the 12 new graves seeded. Still waiting on topsoil. And Mark wanted to bring up on that. Did you guys ever approve the rate increase through?
Yes, I think
Yeah.
Randy said that she'd have it for our May 1st meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're working on getting that into an ordinance form.
Okay, that's what he's
What I'm
asking.
told.
So I can tell him. And then the black truck. I was wondering on it, the pickup. I think you guys approved for us to sell it before. Is that
I think we did, but we can do it again.
okay? Well, I just want to make sure. Can we just go ahead and Brady list it and put it up for sealed bid so we can get it?
What year is it?
I don't
I
know.
think it's 98 or 99, thing goes back to late 90s.
Yeah, it's an older truck, so it needs
It's
to
been around a long time.
Is Larry gonna buy it too?
Well, if he does, we're taking the name off the door and the lights, so he doesn't run around with these grandson with lights
I
flashing.
know.
So,
Who? Larry? He bought the old red,
States.
yeah, and his grandson flips the switch when they get in, so you meet him
the
right
yellow
around the
lights
corner.
are,
Yeah, so, and then, purchase-wise, electric department needs, triplex. It's the line they use for services to houses at the price of $4,464.
I'll move.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we need a motion on the black truck?
I'll move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll make sure I'm not missing them there. And then, the pool, we should start filling it late this week or first of next week.
So that paint you buy, I saw it's like 2 gallons for $700 some. Oh, it's blue something they call it.
I
It's
think
that
that was
epoxy.
the epoxy stuff that we have.
So that's just a patch type, or
Yeah, that was just to go over the bad spots. We didn't totally paint the pool this year.
Yeah, it's crazy money.
Yeah, that's over. Well, last time we painted it was over 3,000, so I'm sure it's even it's probably between 4,000 and 5,000 now.
Don't dump it.
So,
No.
I'd be nervous for the kids.
oh yeah, so it's and then the other thing I've got is the digger truck for electric department. Have we decided, are we going to move forward on that, or it's $301,685? It'll be 3 years
In the
in
making.
the making, so you can make payments, start making payments now, or have it ready in 3 years.
Well, I'd say we split it up over 3 years. Make
That'd be the
payments.
smart thing to do, I would think.
Yeah.
It won't get any cheaper, I'm sure.
Well, no. So yeah, we split it over 3 years. It's still painful, but it's not as painful. It's only 1/3 the pain.
But it's a chronic pain.
It's a chronic. Okay. Well, do you have specs there? What do you got?
Well, this is what Brandy gave me. I mean, it just tells you basically don't really have a good breakdown in my book, but it just tells you all the stuff they're getting on the truck.
Maybe what's the name? Alltech or something?
Yeah, all tech. I mean, you can have this if you want to.
There's
Well,
no
we should have some-
confirmation. Does it lock in that price too?
He is going to
Probably
double check tomorrow, call him and make sure.
Okay.
But I would think once you got it ordered, you
Well,
should.
we thought that was something else
Yeah.
we ordered.
They say this is a pretty much
It
a,
was electric too.
Oh, the poles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we probably need to sign a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 to 10. You got page 10?
this
That's the bottom right corner.
There it is. Okay. Well, can I leave this with Karen?
yeah.
Okay. Well, you guys want to discuss any more? Just go ahead and.
I'll make a motion as long, once we get the price locked in,
But there won't be an increase.
Well,
or a
move,
significant increase.
Right.
move to approve unless. Well, we need a contract. I'm sure they got a contract. They'd have something for us to sign, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you want to word that?
Move to approve as long as the price does not significantly increase and as long as we
Well,
can have
can't
a
we just approve
contract.
contract at the next
We could do that.
meeting? Just get the contract and have it presented at the next meeting?
15,000. Yes, we could do that.
Yeah, so why don't we just hold off till we get the see if we can get a contract in the next meeting. Right now, the price is $301,685, and we thought we'd try to pay that over 3 years, and yeah, there you go. Get some take home.
Anything like that, it's good to have the contract with the delay in vehicles and things as far as how that's working, so.
Yeah, maybe the price decreases. if it's not-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
I
depends
just
on
say
when
that
this
you
election.
guys lower utility rates.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta wait and buy it when the next presidential election is. I'm sure all the prices and everything will go down.
You think?
And the other one we got, the one we had is repaired. We're using it, so.
How old is it? It's probably about 20 years old.
Yeah, I
isn't
think it's 20 or 22.
We're gonna be able to get any money out of it?
We'll be able to get a little
it?
bit.
Larry will buy it.
There you buy it. Well, he
Does
can
it
buy,
dig?
we'll contract him to come dig our holes.
There you go. If he's sitting, he can probably do that.
That's right, so,
But he'll have to have Chase and Yanni with him.
okay. So, but that's all I have. Okay. So,
Okay. You met?
What?
I do.
Oh,
Oh, no, he's gonna want money, I can tell.
I need money, yeah. The guys came down to hook up our automatic transfer switch for the generator last week. And, well, they had the power down. When the power came back up, we lost a driver. It was a 15-year-old driver, so. you know.
a driver.
It's a driver for a raw pump, 45 horsepower raw pump.
Okay.
And it's a $9,000 driver, so. We just bought one last fall for one of the other pumps. So this was the only really old one left.
Yeah.
So it's $9,038.
Who's that? Can you?
That's Sycamore Engineering. Yeah, you can have this.
Well,
He's
darn.
coming Friday. We've got him scheduled to come Friday. It's not
Policeman.
really something we can do without.
Well, a driver. That basically. What the heck's a driver mean in layman terms?
It's a motor starter.
It's what makes it
Yeah,
go.
Yeah.
Stops the motors.
Start and stops the motor.
Yeah.
Slowly,
Slowly,
instead of a hammer, hard start, a hard
Okay.
start and stop. It gradually goes up and down.
Huh. Okay.
Saves your pump.
And they're set up on floats, so whenever the water gets a certain level, it keeps a certain amount of pumps on. So.
There are no lift stations.
We have 3 of those, don't we, down there?
We have 3 of those, yep. Those are,
Well, you got to have your pump to, you know.
I'll
pump.
make a motion to
Yeah.
approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll give it Brandy tomorrow and have her
More
get that
stuff.
sent back to him tomorrow, so. We got our sludge hauled off a couple weeks ago.
How good? How long does that hold us?
Till,
Until we have to haul again.
October.
Okay, so in October, is it typically as much as it is in? Is that like 38? Yeah.
33,000?
You know, is it the same amount in the fall?
No, probably not as much.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it varies. One's always bigger than the others, but yeah, it was.
We've had a lot of someone down there too.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of wasting. Yeah. Anyway, the 2 sludge
what's
holding
that
tanks
say
down
about
the
Rockville?
road. need to be
We're
cleaned
full of
out.
it.
What's that?
The 2 sludge holding tanks that are down on the road need to be cleaned out. There's a lot of gravel, rocks in them.
So what are you saying?
Um,
What are you
The
saying?
guy that
He needs more money.
The guy that does our lift stations, I was gonna call him tomorrow, but I wanted to coordinate with him to see if he's got any lift stations that need to be done, because it'd probably be a cheaper price if he did a couple lift stations in that tank at the same time.
Okay.
Well, it'll be cheaper, but we won't have to pay the minimum of 1,500 if we have to call for a lift station a month
exactly,
later.
yeah.
So we can,
So we'll call him tomorrow and see what's up with that.
let's see if there's anything we need while he's here.
And the only other thing I got is the valves at the storm pond. We talked about this in October. They need to be rebuilt. One of them's froze up, and I can't return anything back to the plant right now. They're coming Tuesday. We talked about this in October.
Is this a hand crank thing?
Yeah, those hand crank valves. They're like 25 foot deep. He's got to set up a tripod and go down in there. And,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's not.
Well, it's been in there for 22, 3 years.
Yeah, they haven't been touched since then. I mean, they definitely need to be rebuilt. He was going to give me a quote on replacing them with plug valves, because they're a gate valve now, and it's just not a good setup, because if something comes through, the gate doesn't want to close on it, you know.
Well, what's the other type of
Plug
plug?
valve, it's a little different type valve. It'll close if it's got stuff in it, it'll squish it out. But anyway,
Okay. Nice.
he was gonna give me a quote. I said, just give me a quote. I said, we'll see what kind of price you're talking, and, we'll see if
So we'll
we
have
can
that
work
at the
it out.
next meeting, a rebuild cost versus the different, the
Yeah.
plug, okay.
So, other than that,
Things are peaking.
spring projects, getting on, you know, we've been waiting since, you know, just like you were just talking about. Stuff we were trying to get done last year is just now starting to happen, so.
Yeah. Kevin, you anything from cemetery board or?
Well, at the last Cemetery board, it was approved for you to spend that money with Justin Montgomery. He's achieved the line application, which will green it up and not grow it. The weed control is supposed to be done this week with this temperature. We gotta wait till it warms up a little bit for the weed control to go down.
It'll be 80 on Wednesday.
I think it'll be 42 the next day. So anyway, that's on tap. I'm looking to get the price of maybe overseeding after the weed killer comes in, just to see what happens. think Mark has got the Scott's,
Yes, we started
grass
using
seed.
that,
A
yeah.
little pricier, but we should see some,
Yes.
stuff out of that. When, next board meeting, we're talking about, met with Mark and Doug unofficially from the town.
Right.
And we're going over the rules again. The rules seem to be getting out of control again a little bit, so we need to maybe rein some back in from a maintenance perspective.
Well, we just talked.
We need to get on over and remove Christmas stuff regardless.
In small stuff, what happens is the tractor blows it off the top of the marker. And so then they gotta get off the tractor, they gotta put it all back, if they could see which one it came off of. And it just takes a lot of time, and you don't wanna impinge somebody's grieving, but there's gotta be a happy medium.
Right.
So that's about it. The only other thing I did have, I don't know why, people seem to want to tell me about it, but I did get cornered the other night. Not cornered, not the right word.
Approach
Regarding Olive Court, in particular, the old Reedy house that was gonna be the Family Dollar where it was. The outbuildings behind, Ian's gonna look at it after the meeting, I think. The outbuildings behind that, abut the property line to the lady who just bought that new place, is going to hell in a handbasket. And so she was talking to one of the other residents who's very active, who then contacted me. The other issue with Olive Court is, and this might be something Nick can look into, is that construction is not proceeding on some of these places for months. The mud's still there, the dirt's still there, the debris still there, and they said, is there any kind of limitation? I said, I have no idea.
Aren't they a homeowners association though?
They should be.
Right,
So that takes precedence
right,
over.
that governs them then.
I thought that we talked about that last year, and their covenant ended years ago for that.
Yeah, because we maintain that now, so they would,
They're probably
they'd be under
enforceable.
whatever the town rules, it's just like Parkway and all that, when,
Yeah,
they
the
used
Parkway
to
with Water
have.
James, that was all.
Yeah.
Imagine because they have.
The reason I ask is they came to one of the zoning meetings and were representing that they are homeowners association still. So,
Yeah, they didn't mention that to
Didn't we
me.
ask for like their documentation, or didn't they?
I just told them that if they're looking to enforce that, they'd be a civil matter because HOAs aren't under zoning for us.
Well, the person who I talked to, I'll ask if they got in their documents. The chances are, if they haven't enforced them so long, they're gonna be unenforceable
Okay.
anyway. I guess.
But yeah, if it's maintained in partial construction, that would fall under our zoning ordinance, depending on how long it had been.
Because there's some houses, again, as you drive around town,
Right.
Howard Avenue in particular,
I know what
nothing's
you're
been done.
right. That if they're maintaining a state of partial construction, that falls under our zoning. Then it's just the HOA was a concern to me. But if they're not operating as a HOA, then and they're in town limits, and they're under our zoning. So.
That's it.
But yeah, that's one of the components to our nuisance ordinance is partial construction.
The one in the corner's really looking nice.
So yeah, I guess find out if they have an HOA, has been enforced any.
Well, they can probably go run into just, based on, imagine the condo law and all, homeless association law is pretty similar from state to state. In Florida, which was statute 718 or 617, like that, the only thing worse than no enforcement is selective enforcement. So if they've been selectively enforcing it, they're screwed anyway, so.
Who owns that property?
Okay.
What? Do what?
Who owns that property? The house on 36?
I don't know.
There's a mother and
606.
daughter.
They wrote it up, but at least I saw something on it.
They parked at Bridge Festival, so I time I met them.
I talked to them on the phone, they said they were gonna come down and clean up. They did clean up a little bit, but they didn't clean up that building.
Yeah, you look in the back, I guess there's vermin and all kinds of
You don't
stuff.
know who owns it?
Any vermin on the roof?
I've got the name on the paper, but
I may have it on my phone.
is it?
You don't know it was vermin in the cage?
Well, I don't know what.
Probably a
Bill
raccoon
did
or a
write it up
possum.
there, so I remember it come
That's
through.
interesting.
I'll say it's shut this down.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We're good?
Well, there's one more thing.
Oh, good.
No, come on.
Just let us rest.
When
In
we-
for a penny, for a pound.
When we switched over to generator backup power down there.
Yeah.
That 300 kilowatt Kohler generator that's there was only putting out about 100 kilowatt.
Well, what's the explanation?
And so the guy's gonna come up to do the official switchover. He's going to do a load test on that, and we're gonna put new fuel filters in it. It was just changed last fall, but
Well, now that's not the one
That's
that,
not the one we just bought. Didn't we just buy it?
is that the one that was donated?
no, that's the old Caterpillar.
Okay, that's,
You can't kill that thing runs like.
so this one's a newer one. Okay.
Yeah, this is the newest one we bought, the Kohler.
Oh.
Good Lord, we haven't had it long, have we?
I don't remember what year that Kohler was put
I
in.
don't think it's been very long.
Was it 2000 when that thing was put
The
in?
Kohler?
I can't
We
remember.
bought one just not that long ago.
I don't know, I can't recall.
Didn't we
but-
buy something?
I'll try to find that out.
Well,
We just bought some for the poles. Those,
I
whatever
know,
those
but
are.
I swore we bought something for.
hopefully the
Well, we
filters will help.
actually just
Maybe
took
you
a
did in
couple
November.
bids to put a generator, to replace the Caterpillar generator, and to put a generator up on the hill. Jeff had me get quotes for that. I guess there was some grant money to do that, I'm not sure.
Well, I've heard talk of that, but
So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that project. I got one quote back, but I'm still waiting on Sycamore to give me the other quote. So anyway, they're gonna do a load test on it and see what we can figure out. We're hoping it's just, fuel filters, maybe dirty fuel, so.
Okay. Old business?
Discussions about.
We have anything on old business? Anybody?
I don't know if it's old or new, but I'm willing to make a motion we approve Design A on the parking lot.
I get, but I don't know if it's old or new either.
it's very old.
Okay. You're gonna make a motion to approve.
Well, let's review it
Design
first,
Plan A,
kids.
because
Let's.
Plan B takes away parking spots.
I mean, I assume everybody saw these. You looked at them, Chris?
And I also like that it says it allows for larger vehicles because I
Well,
feel like
my
that's-
understanding is, this was left here for some reason too. My understanding is the lot's 80 foot from north to south. So we gained, I don't know how many feet, we gained some footage there. So yeah, it creates a wider opening in the center. The debate now, I mean, this isn't a final design. I don't know what you call it on there, but when did I talk to Luke?
You sent that out like on Saturday or Sunday.
I think it came Friday afternoon, but he said there's some options to do something in the center as far as, I don't know if we want to do anything or not, because it could potentially get ran into. but
Wasn't that the decorative trees or something?
I don't know.
Anyway,
A's fine.
my
Main.
motion was to go with Plan A.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There's some discussion about the need for irrigation. If we do any landscaping around here, well, when we do some landscaping around here, we'll probably want a little irrigation there, and then it's also been talked about along Jefferson. We probably should have put some in. It's apparently not hard to stub some in. That stuff's going to die, and we're going to hear about it come August probably. Why?
Nothing, I'm just listening.
I mean, yeah. So if we can avoid
The
that,
guy across the street.
huh?
I said, hear from who? The guy across the street?
No, not me. But you know how it is. If you put in something new and it doesn't work out, people like to
Oh,
complain.
yeah.
Anyway,
Which was why we said we needed less screen. And
well, it's a pain, but boy, it beats concrete all over. Anyway, Kevin, you probably have more background in this. I mean, how can you come up with an estimate on irrigation costs?
I don't know who does it around here. I would have no idea.
Well,
I can ask, again, maybe Justin, I don't know, Justin Montgomery, that kind of thing, or whatever, I can, or at least find out who can do it. I think it'd be really easy on the west side of Jefferson, be okay, because I think you got water already there.
there's a water meter in the
Just gonna
lot.
get it across the street then, that's the thing.
Well, and then, I don't know where Vanderhagen's is at.
Well,
all you had to do was stub across the alley.
There's got to be a water meter out there somewhere in that lot. There used to be 3 or 4 homes there. Side question: they put a cone out in Mark's lot last week by the sidewalk. Is there a sinkhole there? or
Yeah, it
something?
looks like an old meter set. Is
Oh.
sinking there. They said it's supposed to have been filled and packed, but apparently it's,
Okay.
so yeah, we gotta get
So
it back.
anyway,
You wouldn't have a problem, because you've got water on, again, the west side, you have water there, you have power. You can run
What about
automatically.
winter, Kevin? Don't have to.
You gotta uncap it, blow it out with a compressor and shut it off.
Okay, that's how you do it. Makes sense.
Concrete sounds a lot simpler to me.
It is a lot simpler.
Yeah, but
I just I don't know. I just feel like we're spending a lot of time on a parking lot. That's
we
just-
have. Well, until we didn't know what our size of the lot was until 3 weeks ago, which is kind of odd. But anyway, it's just the way it happened. Let's not go back. Let's go forward.
Kick the can down the road.
Kick
That's
it down
why I
the
made a
road.
motion. Let's move on.
So yeah, if we can. Well, who's going to pursue that? Are you going to try to ask or what's his name?
I'll find out. I'll try to meet somebody, get an estimate of what it takes to fit it.
I mean, basically, it's talking much.
If Doug maybe help me on the east side of Jefferson, we can find.
And we'll figure out if there's water over there. What we did with the, I don't remember what they did with the meters over there.
I don't.
I doubt if we saved them because it's Vanderheiden's parking lot.
On the northwest corner, then that's Parke, that's gonna water that, so.
Yeah,
We didn't do
I'm going to
any
water that.
irrigation when we did, you guys did Howard.
By your store, yeah.
Of course, everything died.
Sprinkle cake.
Most of the grass, the sod.
Yeah. Okay. So
A
seems like
lot of
there's
it did. It looks bad.
Okay, so-
seems like there's something else. Was something else?
I have one other thing on old business.
You do?
If we're done with that.
I think so.
So we sold the property on Howard
Mhm.
Park. So we need, the park board has made a motion or recommendation to move forward with the pickleball court at the park. So we need a motion to approve that at $46,000.
Whoa. Okay. So we got 25 out of the lot, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you getting the other money
We have
from?
another 8 at the community foundation, and then we have some fund, like those cemetery funds, but it's park pool funds that have been there forever that were donations, so we're gonna pull from that.
Okay.
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
So
you.
did somebody work with you with a master plan a while back? Some gal?
Ross got
Mm-hmm.
the master plan done.
Mm-hmm.
Ross Plotkin.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Did you ever present it to the town board? Did we ever look at it?
I'm sure we did.
I'm just curious what the heck
I'm
your
sure we
long-term
did.
plan is.
I'm sure we did.
Well, can you bring it back sometime?
Yeah.
I assume the pickleball court was part of it.
Well,
No,
we were
not
gonna
necessarily.
revise, at that point, we were gonna resurface it as a
As a
tennis
tennis,
court,
yeah.
but it's morphed into the pickleball.
There have been some
There's
people
been
that
much
were
more
very
interest in a
interested in it.
pickleball court.
And you can get 2 pickleball courts on the size of a tennis court.
Okay.
So those courts look different than regular tennis courts then?
They're just a smaller court. It's a smaller court.
So,
So you would
so
just have
some
2 of
folks
them
don't
sit
have
on
to
the same-
run,
Okay.
yeah, they would be, run as far.
I'm interested to see
Yeah.
how it looks.
Yeah.
So
So
golf, ping pong.
I'm just curious. The current court it's kind of below grade. Probably it's been there so long and sunk down. I assume
They're
might-
gonna,
Mill it up.
Yeah,
and
mill it and-
resurface
yeah.
it, the whole deal. Fencing, resurfacing. It's gonna be
striping.
nice. It's gonna be
Okay.
real nice.
I gotta learn how to play pickleball.
Yeah.
You don't use a tennis racket either, you use kind
It
of,
looked like a ping pong paddle.
kind of,
Kind of
like it's almost like a wiffle ball, plus it's kind of like a racquetball.
racquetball, more like a racquetball.
It's bigger than, like the,
No, it's like the new thing apparently everywhere.
Yep.
I just don't know anything about it.
there's just less
you're
running,
young.
and you have a
You're
larger
young.
racket to hit with.
You had me at less room.
Next is a 3-hole disc golf course there.
Nice, yeah.
Hey, that's a thing too. Yeah.
It is.
We could have more than 3 holes too, probably.
Yeah.
That's all I had. Anybody else have anything on new business? Any public comments? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
You do.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.